it has become enforceable right now. That my colleagues will discuss. First of all, if you see the preamble of the act, you will see that an act for providing protection of the rights and interests of the consumers and for the purpose to make provisions for establishment of authorities for timely and effective administration of consumer disputes, matter connected thereto, and incidental therewith. So the ambit of this act is very big. I will be happy if you interact with me during my deliberation. Have you ever come across this act or applied in your personal life? Is there anybody who has applied this act in your daily life? Okay, fine. Do you know the definition of consumer among you? Can anybody say who is a consumer? Any idea? Please. You can speak in Bengali also.
Those who consumes the good.
Who consumes goods? Anybody else? Anything to add? Grahak je, right. Actually, consumer is any person who buys any goods for a consideration which has been paid or promised, or party paid and party promised, or under the system of deferred payment, and includes any user of such goods other than the person who buys it, but does not include any person who obtains such goods for the purpose of business or for resale. And this is the first part of the definition. I will go word by word. And in the second part, the word goods is replaced by service, and the user is replaced by beneficiaries. Other things are almost same. So, if we discuss who is a consumer, who buys any goods or hires any service for a consideration. The first thing you have to note that if anybody gets anything free of cost, he or she will not be considered as consumer under this act. Though he or she consumes or enjoys the service, under this act, he or she will not be able to sue against those persons of those sellers or service providers if there is any defect in goods or deficiency in service. So you will have to pay something, consideration. First thing, he obtains some goods. So we are supposed to know the definition of goods. Can anybody say what is goods? Please react. You can speak in Bengali, Hindi, English, whatever you like. Please talk to me. What is goods? আরে জিনিসপত্র আমরা কিনি না, প্রতিদিন তো কিনি, তাই না? তো as per definition of CP Act, goods is something which is movable and can be severed from earth. অর্থাৎ যেটাকে সরানো যাবে এবং মাটি থেকে বিচ্ছিন্ন করা যাবে, ঠিক আছে? সেটাই হচ্ছে গুডস। তাহলে এই আইনের আওতা থেকে প্রথমে which is excluded from this act, actually land is totally excluded from
goods.
The purview of this act dealing of land. But sometimes it happens that if there is any contract between the buyer and seller for development of the land, if there is a service component in the dealing, that service component will come under the purview of this act. Now, what is consideration? What is consideration?
Is the amount that is been paid or
Only amount, only money.
no.
Consideration is anything. It can be anything. Which can be used as barter, exchange value. For example, I'm telling you, most probably all of you from urban area, no? So you have seen that some people have brought up. actually developer gives that owner some money and some plots or some amenities or like something like that. And in that case, if there is any deficiency in the service part from the developer, as the plot owner is not paying anything, any money, but he is taking money from the developer, he will be considered a consumer because the consideration is his land. Okay. So consideration is such a thing, implied or expressed. In return, you will get something. Implied or expressed. Now, you are going to purchase something for consideration, and I have told you that two persons have been excluded. One who obtains such goods for commercial purpose, and one who obtains such goods for resale. So you know commercial purpose. You are well aware that if I purchase something for commercial purpose, it will not come under the purview of CP Act. Will not come under the purview of CP Act means if there is any defect or deficiency, that will not be covered in the ambit of consumer code. You will not be able to sue against that person. And free of cost, it is obvious that if you get something free of cost, then it will not come under the purview of this act. Actually, I have a PPT that is running over there, but as the time is but little, it is only 20 minutes. I am unable to cover that PPT. My colleague Sir Arun sir is there. They will try to complete it. So, if commercial purpose will not include. Now you have told us that the static thing will not come under the purview of the CP Act, but housing construction, when house is constructed, that is static thing that cannot be CP Act from Act. How it will come? No, it is inbuilt in the definition of service that housing construction will come under the purview of the Act because there are many components which are purely service, and service is very much included in this Act. But sometimes commercial purpose will also be considered the person who uses as consumer for commercial purpose even. Where if you go through the explanation of this act, there is some exception. Number one, if anybody takes any goods, buys any goods for the purpose of earning his livelihood by means of self-employment, then he or she will be considered as consumer as under Consumer Protection Act and get all the benefits of this act. The basic thing is this act is different from other acts and rules for the countries in vogue. It is purely compensatory in nature and for quick and effective disposal of consumer disputes. The courts are also established differently, and the way of adjudication is something different that Shamal Gupta sir has long experience as working as our member. He will definitely explain. So if a person gets any goods for the purpose of earning his livelihood, he or she will be able to sue against any person who offers defective goods or offers deficient service or hazardous goods or etc. etc. Now you consider that you are a consumer, you have consumed something, you have taken something, and you are duped. There are some ways we feel that we are duped. If I give some example, you will definitely relate to your daily life. Have you, among you, felt that you have duped by price of any goods? Perhaps you are well aware, and I think you do it regularly. Online purchase, no?
Yes, sir.
Suppose some shirt or some trouser, one of your friends purchased from a shop, and the same thing you purchased online, and when you discuss with your friend, you have come to know that the person who bought the trouser from a shop, he paid much than you have actually paid online. So there will be an irritation in the mind of the person who buys that goods on a higher price, no? There will be some irritation, and the pain of being duped is dangerous. If you pay something voluntarily to somebody, you will feel glad, you will feel good. But if somebody actually dupes you, you will feel bad, definitely. But can it be treated as overpricing under CP Act? That I am going to discuss. Actually, when you purchase any goods, you may be you may suffer a loss or injury for number one, defect of the goods, or deficiency in service, or unfair trade practice adopted by the seller or the service provider, or restrictive trade practices, or overcharging, or hazardous goods and hazardous services. Only these 6 components can dupe you. You can sue. If we consider the first thing, defect in goods, that we call defective goods. What is defect? Have you any idea? Damaged product. Anything to add? Anybody? Inferior quality, right?
Expired date.
Expired date. Anything else? All these are true. But if you go through the act, defect is defined as any fault, shortcoming, imperfection in the quality, quantity, potency, purity standard, which is required to be maintained by or under any law for the time in force, or in pursuance of any contract. You know contract. But if you feel the goods is damaged, or the date is expired, or the quality is inferior, it does not make any sense unless the standard is fixed by or under any law for the time in force, or there is written contract between the buyer and seller. We very frequently see that you have purchased some shirt or sari, that color fades away, or the quality after washing, it does not drizzle as it is expected, or something like that. But it will not make no sense unless that is written in the contract, or the standard is fixed by the country by or under any law. Okay? So my feelings about any goods, that the goods is defective and that cause some loss or injury to my personal life or my social life, that will not make any sense in the light of Consumer Protection Act. Okay? Then comes deficiency of service. What is it? The same thing. The manner of delivery of service, the way of delivery of service, the speed of the service, etc., etc. The standard is fixed by the country by or under any law. Unless that is fixed, you will not be able to say that the service is deficient, or in pursuit of any contract. We very frequently in our daily life we hire services from private persons. So standard must be fixed between the buyer and seller. Suppose you have ordered some decorator for erection of some pandal before your this auditorium. So every point should be mentioned that the quality of cloth is to be used, the color of the cloth to be used, the color of the strength of the structure is to be used there, etc., etc., and above all the time, at what time that will be completed. All this should be in your contract. unless you make the contract, the service provider will have the liberty to linger the time to make inferior quality of clothes, etc. You know that very recently it happened that Honorable Chief Minister was supposed to visit somewhere at the gate before before her arrival that was broken in Kolkata very recently. Or so can I can remember it is 5 to 6 months. That is in Sojourner. But if there had been any contract between the organizer and the service provider, I think it is a very good example for consumer complaint. I don't know what happened actually, but there was plenty of scope. So everybody among us are young lawyers. We should be very careful about the pros and cons of Consumer Protection Act, and we should be ready to apply in our daily life. I don't know how much time I have consumed, sir. Okay. And I'm telling one thing, if you don't like my deliberation, please raise your hand, I'll quit myself. Okay? As I was talking about deficits in service, then I have told you that how a consumer is duped or some loss or injury is caused due to unfair trade practice. Now let us know what is unfair trade practice. It is a big chapter. If you go through the act, you will see that if I wish to explain it before you, at least 5 to 6 hours I will require. But I have discovered a very short terminology to explain to keep it in your mind, to actually inject in your mind. That is, anything which is sold or delivered claiming a quality actually which that goods do not possess. For example, some old thing is sold as new thing. Some product, as claimed by the seller, has some affiliation of some reputed company, but actually that does not have that affiliation. It is claimed that, can I say, actually you frequently use some cream which actually fairness, it is called fairness cream. Darken people gets shining, okay? And very frequently we purchase it. There is a huge market. Some multinational companies are operating in our country. But scientifically, so far today, nobody has discovered any cream or any medicine like that which can improve the color of our skin. Totally bogus. And you are very young. I'm sharing one example. In 2016-17, perhaps you are children at that time, Shah Rukh Khan advertised one cream that is fair and handsome. And it was told in the advertisement that if you use this cream, within 15 days you will get a handsome girlfriend. Oh, sorry, handsome word was not used, pretty girlfriend. Or if any girl uses that cream, he or she will get some handsome boyfriend. Okay. One person from so far as I can remember, from Gujarat, he used that cream for consecutive 3 months, and even after that, he failed to manage any girlfriend. and he sued in consumer club, consumer court. That as claimed in the advertisement that I will have some pretty girlfriend within a period of 15 days, but that cream actually did not work. And ultimately, that fair and handsome cream advertisement had to withdraw from the market, and that person who unfortunately failed to manage any girlfriend was compensated by the court. Okay, so in unfair trade practice, tall claims are made, and actually that does not happen. I can give you another example, as young people are there, that some medicines are sold in the market, some hair oil are sold in the market, that bald man will get hair. Huh? There are so many hair oils. But truly, I have found no person for whom it worked. And there was a specific case over it. In Kerala, one prominent actor, he advertised for that hair oil, that if anybody uses the hair oil, it will go here on bald head. And ultimately, it did not work. Then one bald, and when honorable judge asked that person, sir, actually did you use this hair oil? He confessed that no, sir, I used some hair oil actually produced by my mixed something by my mother only. I don't use any hair oil from the market. And this came when this Act 2019 came into force. Why I am telling it? That is very interesting. That in this new Act, there is a word endorser. Who is an endorser? Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Ajay Devgan. There are so many persons who advertises for goods, but in real life they do not use it. Now in this new Act, if anybody advertises for some goods and claims some quality, potency, purity, standard or effectivity of that goods, and if it comes false, that person will be held responsible in this new Act. So you know that this Act has enormous, what I will say, power, and it encompasses the entire circle of our life. Then I have told you that how persons are due some restrictive trade practice. What is restrictive trade practice? Have you taken gas connection recently? LPG connection recently? অনেকদিন আগে নিয়েছে, কে নিয়েছে? হ্যাঁ প্লিজ বলো, তুমি বলো। সবাই নিয়েছে। কি করতে হচ্ছে নেওয়ার জন্য? না, সাবসিডি ছেড়ে দিলাম। এইবার যখন গ্যাস কানেকশন দেবে ডিলার, বলেছে না ওভেনটা এখান থেকে কিনতে হবে, এই গ্যাস পাইপটা এখান থেকে নিতে হবে, আর সব কিছু নিতে হবে বলেছে না? হ্যাঁ, আর ওভেনটা এমনি তাতে কানেকশন দিয়ে দিয়েছিল। কিন্তু ম্যাক্সিমাম লোকের অভিজ্ঞতা, এক্সপিরিয়েন্স অফ ম্যাক্সিমাম পিপল ইজ সামথিং ডিফারেন্ট। Actually, they seldom give connection unless you purchase that hot plate from them, gas pipe or anything like that. Okay, this is a kind of restrictive trade practice. Combination purchase. You want to purchase some chocolate, and the shopkeeper is telling you that yes, I will give you the chocolate, but you will have to take a glass, a bottle of cold drink. That is the precondition. In previous days, one time there was scarcity of baby food, So the baby food seller would say, yes, we'll give you baby food, but with that you will take some inferior quality soap or something like that with that. All these are restrictive trade practice. Restrictive trade practice is manipulation of price or supply of the goods in the market in such a way as the consumer has to pay some extra price, and it includes two things. Number one, delay beyond agreed period, and number two, as I have told you, combination purchase. Delay beyond agreed period, I will give you another example. Sirs or madam or students will not purchase flat. Have you any experience of purchasing any flat recently? Or your known persons? Or dear students, your parents have purchased any flat recently? If you go to purchase any flat, normally what happens? You generally give booking money. You choose the carpet area. You choose the portion of that would be housing complex. But after passage of time, the developer starts saying that, sir, actually by this time, first of all he makes delay, and secondly he starts telling, sir, the price of all the materials have risen by this time, and I will not be able to give you the flat within that price. It happens. If you have experience, you will see, or if you discuss with your friends who have recently purchased flats, other than the big developers, small developers usually does it. টাইমস নানা রকম থাকে। এবার এই যে এগ্রিড বিয়ন্ড ডিলেড পিরিয়ড হলো এবং এর জন্য দাম বাড়লো, সে দু রকম অন্যায় করলো। Two wrongdoings he has committed. Number one, he did not hand over the key within the stipulated time as agreed between both the parties, and second, he charges more than the agreed price. This is a kind of restrictive trade practice. Next comes overpricing. I'll complete it, sir. Next comes overpricing. As I have told you that at the very beginning, that you have a feelings that you have purchased something with some much higher price than your friend or your known person. It happens very regularly. And in the market, if you go in the market and survey it shop to shop, the same thing is sold in different prices. So, if you have purchased something from one shop, as madam was telling about tiles, it happens in the case of tiles, that you are renovating your house, you have purchased some tiles from one shop, and the same tiles of same manufacturer with same specification, you have found in another shop that is being sold in much lower price. And if it happens, there is some irritation among those persons who suffer such loss or injury. ঠকে যাওয়ার যন্ত্রণা কিন্তু সাংঘাতিক, তাই না? তো এই যে ওভার প্রাইসিং কোন কোন ক্ষেত্রে হবে? There are 4 parameters to charge for overpricing. Number 1, if any seller or service provider charges a price more than the price fixed by or under any law for the time in force, you are astonished that state fixes price of goods? Yes, definitely. The price of LPG, petroleum products, all are fixed by the state. The railway tariff fixed by the state, bus fare fixed by the state. And if anybody charges more than that, that will be overcharging, and you can sue for that overcharging. Number 2, the price shown as visible representation. What is visible representation? The price is declared openly. If you go to shopping mall, you will see some flags are put up in some drums of rice, pulses, etc., etc. And you will see garments of same price in one rack, different price in another rack. Okay, this is a kind of visible representation. And if anybody charges any price more than the visible representation, it is definitely overpricing. Number 3, the MRP written on any packaged commodities. You have seen you very frequently purchase packaged commodities, and in present days, all the groceries, almost all the daily needs we meet from some packaged commodities. And if you take online goods, that also comes under package, no? The MRP written on the package, and if anybody charges more than that, that is overpricing, and you can sue. You can ask that how the price is fixed. Actually, in India, God knows how the price is fixed. For medicine, some packaged goods, nobody knows how the price is fixed. There is no parameter. But the rule is, if anybody charges more than the MRP, that is an offense. So far I was talking wrongdoing, but now I am telling that offense. There is much difference between wrongdoing and offense. How it is offense? No, there is another act in force in our country, that is Legal Metrology Packaged Commodities Rules 2011. And that rule is enforceable. If anybody charges more than MRP, that legal metrology authority can suo moto take action against that person. And this consumer protection is, as I have told you, is compensatory in nature. If anybody is duped and suffers any loss or injury, he or she will be compensated adequately. Number 3 is over. And number 4, everything, price of everything is not fixed by the state by or under any law. Everything is not sold by visible representation of price. We do not purchase everything under package. So other things will not come under the purview of this act. Definitely come. That is agreement between both the parties, between buyer and seller. If the agreement is not executed properly, and if this seller charges more than the price as agreed between the parties, that is a kind of overcharging. And for overcharging, a person can sue. And how a person is a person suffers loss or injury. Number 5, that is for hazardous goods and hazardous services. You know, if any goods or services offered for sale in the market which is hazardous to the life and safety for the consumer can sue. And what is hazardous? No, the standard of safety measure which is required to be maintained by our ordinary law for the timing in force has not been maintained by the seller or the service provider, that is hazardous. So all these parameters are the key parameters for making consumer complaint. As you have given me much time, you have given me patient hearing, I am really grateful to you, and I am very happy to come over here. I am concluding, and at the end, if you have any question, I will be here. You can ask freely. Okay? Thank you all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for enlightening us on the relevant topic with your knowledge and expertise. Now I would request our another eminent speaker, Shri